Back with another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Busy day for rodeo fans, busy weekend actually for rodeo fans. Carson Rodeo is going on, the Sydney Rodeo is going on, and in case you missed it, we talked with Brad Forrestal, president of the Carson Rodeo Committee, on our show earlier this week. So go back and watch that, and you can get an update on everything that happened that is going on this weekend. That show actually came out on Wednesday, so get on out to the rodeo and support our local competitors and even the national ones that come in. It's a ton of fun, and I encourage you to get out there. Yesterday on the other show, Morning Coffee, I had an old buddy of mine, Nate McGill. He's a filmmaker out of Georgia, and he has in the past done something similar to what we are doing here, and it's what they call hyper-local podcasting. Now, what I call small market podcasting. The reason I call it that is because I came from small market radio and did large market too. I actually did some worked for a national network a couple of different times, so I was on across the country, but my heart was always in small market radio and what small market radio meant to the communities in which they're in. Now, we have seen a huge decline in what small market radio is. Not everywhere. It is still successful and effective in a few markets where it's being run correctly. But we're going to talk about that today on this episode of Local Roots. Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations in Trainer, also in Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network can help you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care at home in all across the region. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. And this conversation today is really about the current state of small market media and, in my opinion, what it needs to be. Now, don't get me wrong. I still believe that there is a definite need for small market media. The need is there. The desire is there. The communities want it. However, in many communities, we've seen it go away. We've seen positions consolidated. We have seen staff over and over getting laid off, all the way down to a skeleton crew. Newspapers no longer what they used to be, and also small market radio stations no longer what they used to be, and large market as well. Just because there's so many other options now of what you can do, it's increasingly difficult to be able to successfully run any of these radio stations. Now, it is still being done. There are several markets where if it is locally owned by someone in that market that understands the market that they're in, which, by the way, is the way things were intended. And back when all of this got started, that's how everything was. But corporations came in, started buying up different media outlets, whether it be newspaper or radio, and oftentimes television. We have less and less localism on across the board on the traditional media. And there is, not only is there a need for it, it's required. You know, there's something in radio stations that they have to file an issues and concerns report every quarter that talks about what they are doing for the community, ways that they are informing the community, different stories they've run, things like that. Every station has to do it. And so the FCC hasn't really changed those laws since back when this was all first put into place. And this is something that stations get further and further away from. They run just enough, but it's not enough. There's a reason why when I started this show, that I was able to garner viewers and followers so quickly. It's because I focus on what's happening around Southwest Iowa. With this particular show, we have a hyper focus, as to steal Nate McGill from yesterday, to steal his line. We have a hyper focus on Pottawatomie County and Mills County, but that doesn't mean that we don't get out a little bit further. Always open to stories in Harrison County. You get out even further and go back a couple of months, and we had the director of the Corning Opera House on in Adams County. And, there's just so many stories that haven't been told around Southwest Iowa. Now, having said that, I can tell you that our region of the state, when it comes to radio and small market radio, we are a little bit spoiled because we still have enough of those stations that are owned by companies that are inside of that market, so they understand what's going on. I'm thinking over in Atlantic at Harlan and Red Oak, and of course KMA and Shenandoah, Creston, another station. So they're still staffed by local people covering local events. Do you remember? I don't know exactly when it started to go away. Probably started to go away about 20 years ago, when some of these organizations were getting bought up by larger corporations, and then the staff was let go. And not everybody initially, but there are some radio stations out there that are nothing more than a computer in a closet, and it is just running 24 hours a day, running national jocks. Now, technology has made it to where the jocks can talk about something local that's going on in the area, but that's just something that's provided to them. They have no personal knowledge of it. And that's what I'm saying is missing. That is the personal element that is now missing from local media, and people have responded in kind. Newspapers, the circulation is way, way down, but their coverage is also way down. And they may say that they can't afford to keep staff on because to be able to cover all of these things because they're not generating the revenue anymore. Well, things changed and you didn't adapt. Yesterday on the morning coffee show with Nate McGill, we talked about that very thing, about being in media. And he and I both got into it in the 90s and saying that we have been adapting with technology since we got in, and it's been a constant process, and there's times that it changes pretty quickly. And if an organization does not change with that, then it's in decline. But there's still a need for it, and there's still a desire for it in the communities. And I believe that the technology that is currently being used to distribute radio signals and also to distribute television signals, in my opinion, that technology as of today is obsolete. There's no need for it. There's no need for the traditional signal that you have to pull in over a regular antenna on your radio or your television, because we have this. Now we have this platform. We have the internet, which is everywhere. And you can say, well, there's still dead spots in data with the cell signal. Yeah, there is. And you still can run out of a listening area of a radio station pretty quickly too. So that argument doesn't really wash with me. So my belief and my plan for the future is that this is the future. This is where media is going, and it's all going to be delivered online over the internet. And I think that organizations should embrace that. I know that I am. I got out of radio coming up on 2 years ago now. And every time that I get out, I've said that I'm done and I'm never going back. Trust me, I'm done. And it's just not going to happen. And something occurred to me recently, that if I was talking to a young person and they were asking me for advice about the radio industry, should I get into the radio industry? I don't think there's a future there. Not right now. Not the way that it's currently being run. And we see the volatility in it over and over. We've seen so many people lose their jobs, and it starts up at the top and works its way down. I'm going to kind of go off on a little bit of a rant here, but this comes down to it's kind of like a parable from the Bible, if you will. You've got a dozen people in a boat, and you'll have somebody in the front that's leading. You'll have somebody in the back that's working the rudder that's steering, and you would have 10 people rowing. And this is what the way that I imagine that things worked once upon a time. And then as corporations started buying up the boats, they started consolidating jobs. And they started saying, okay, well, we can put this person can now run 2 boats, and this person rowing, we only need 5 rowers. We don't need 10. And so they'll start reducing and keep reducing and keep reducing. And until eventually you still have 12 people in the boat, but only one of them's rowing, and it's not working. And it's not going anywhere. And because they're only rowing on one side, it's kind of going in a circle, and they're not really accomplishing anything. So what does management do? They fire the rower because it must be his fault. It can't be ours. Well, I'm sorry, but I just flat do not agree with that. So as I said, my future is online, and it's delivering content this way because we can now talk to people from anywhere, and we're not limited. Listen, if somebody wants to learn about what's going on in Southwest Iowa through this particular program, all they need is an internet signal, and they can get it from anywhere in the world. They can get it from anywhere, but yet we still focus right here. So this is what I call, as I said, small market podcasting. We are local. We look at what's happening right here in the area. Look back at some of the programs that we've had on this week and some of the people that we have had on this week. And great stories. There's so much happening out there. And inside of our own individual communities, yeah, we know about it. But a lot of times that story doesn't spread out a whole lot farther. And the other great thing about this medium is that once it's out there, it's out there. This is not appointment listening. This is not, okay, but at 8:05, we're going to have an interview with this, that, or the other. And if you miss it, you miss it. It's not that way anymore. I'm not live. I actually, this show is released at 8 a.m. and this particular episode released at 8 a.m. Friday morning, August 1st, 2025. When are you watching it? At 8 a.m.? My guess is 1 or 2 of you, yeah, but most are watching it later when they have time, when it shows up, when, this makes sense. So I still think that there's a need for everything that local media used to do and stopped. There's still a desire for it. There's still people in the area want to know what happened in the high school game. They want to know more than the score and the stats about how many runs happened. They want to know the story. They want to know what it was like to be there. And this is a platform to be able to do that. There's so many ways that this can be used, and we're just beginning. Something else that I've talked about many times is the number of podcasts that have been started. That 90% of the podcasts that ever started didn't make it past episode 3. And that's because they got into it for the wrong reasons. You have to have a reason for doing it other than how many views and how many clicks are you getting. And what I do it for is I want to promote what's going on in the area, and I want to promote your stories, and I want to promote the local nonprofits, and I want to talk about the local elections, and I want to talk about the local event, Hoodoo Days coming up in Neola, and all of the different things that are going on in our area. That's what we want to talk about. One story at a time. We're building a library, and you can go back and you can watch these anytime you like. And that's what I truly believe is the future of media. Now, eventually, somebody with a whole lot of money is going to figure this out, and it's going to explode, and they're going to do a great job with it, and they will understand where the need is, but they have forgotten. People have forgotten about local small markets when it comes to media and what it was that used to make them successful. And they're not anymore. And this is not a dig against anybody who's currently working in any of those areas. Listen, you're incredibly overworked. You do not have the staff to do it the way that you used to do it. You're doing everything you can. And my heart goes out to you, but it's the companies above that are actually controlling things that have messed it all up. And I want to see it come back. I want to see people out covering things. I want to see pictures from the games. I want to hear some of the backstories. I want to hear all of this stuff and see these things. And it's gotten to the point now where it's just too thin. And as I said, we are spoiled. We've got some great local radio stations that are running small markets in our area, and they're doing it well. And the communities, here's the kicker, the communities have responded, and the sponsors are there. Whether it be, in Atlantic, or whether it be in Harlan or Red Oak or Creston or any of the communities that have a small market radio station that's locally owned, they're supported. And why corporations don't see that, and why corporations don't get out of their own way. And if you want to own a small market radio station, great. Let the people in that community run it. The people that have been running it. Stop going in and firing everybody, because it doesn't work. And, how many times have some of these large organizations declared bankruptcy or gone through these, clearinghouse firings and layoffs and everything else that goes on? It should be done. And I'm just, it saddens me that this has happened, especially when there's still a desire for it. And there's still a need for it in these communities. They're craving it. They're craving people to come out and cover what it is that they have going on. So wake up already. All right. This is just me talking. And thank you very much for hanging in here with me with my rant. And in the meantime, if you're looking for all natural health solutions right here in Southwest Iowa, there's a great spot. Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. They're located in Council Bluffs and in the community since 1997. They have a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies, and they've been staffed with over 37 years of experience. You're going to find them in Council Bluffs at 805 South Main Street. A little bit off the beaten path, but you're going to be really happy you stopped by. You can also learn more about them on their website, bambisgreenacres.com. Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market, putting health in your hands. If you're in the market for stylish, locally curated fashion close to home, visit Unique Boutique Iowa. They're in Neola at 101 4th Street, your destination for trendy clothing in all kinds of sizes. You'll find accessories, distinctive gifts. Jamie Bush owns and styles this shop, and she's bringing a homegrown passion for quality and community to every piece. She's open on the weekends, 10 to 2, Sundays 11 to 3, but you can always shop online at shopubiowa.com. Unique Boutique Iowa, distinctive styles, heartfelt service right in Neola. Again, thank you to the folks who are still out there grinding, trying to do what you can for coverage around Southwest Iowa. As I said, some of you are doing well. Some of the organizations are doing well, but there's so many that are not. I don't want to call anybody out by name because that's not the point. I'm not trying to take shots at any specific organization. This is the industry as a whole that has forgotten what it means to be in a small market. And come back. You've got a brand new platform here. This, as I'm talking to you right now, is the future of media. And I'm excited to be on this ride. And I'm excited to see where it heads up to. All right. I hope you had a wonderful week, and I hope you have an even better weekend. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here Monday morning.